Hello, welcome to Old Nerd Reads his Marvel Comics in Order. This is episode 51. This time I read Fantastic Four, number 174, the September issue from 1976. Oh man, less than 50 years ago. We're making progress in this project. I started in 1974, making my way through these comics in my collection, reading them in publishing date order, and stick around for more. I got a long ways to go. But this one, I figured it was a Jack Kirby cover, but I wasn't sure. I had to look it up, and it is. It's a Jack Kirby cover. The inks maybe are what threw me, because this is an ink by Joe Sinnott, who's the normal Fantastic Four inker. This is inked by Frank, I think you pronounce it Giacoia? I'm not real sure. Comment down below if you know. So I had to look it up. I wasn't real sure that this was Kirby, but it is. A lot of people at this time were kind of doing a Kirby style for Marvel, kind of like their house art style. So I thought, maybe it's not Kirby. Maybe it's somebody trying to be Kirby. I think Sue Storm gives it away, though. She's the most Kirby looking on the cover, in my opinion. That gives it away. What do you think? The rest of it, though, I don't know. Maybe upon close inspection, Reed's face looks Kirby. But like I said, a lot of people were doing it at the time. They were doing the Kirby style. But this issue is picking up where the last issue left off. The Fantastic Four are on a quest to stop Galactus from eating the High Evolutionaries Counter-Earth. Issue or two ago, the High Evolutionary sent the Golden Gorilla Grodd, or wait, not Grodd, that's DC Comics. What's his name? Gorr? Gorr, I believe. Sent Gorr to Earth to get the Fantastic Four, to bring them to Counter-Earth, to help him defeat Galactus. And we're picking up in the middle of that story. What's cool about this is the second issue drawn by John Buscema. Roy Thomas and John Buscema team from Conan fame. John Buscema, I think, does a great job. I really like John Buscema's artwork. More so now than I ever did when I was younger. Looking at he mostly I know him from Conan. He did a little bit of superhero comics when I was reading them in the 80s. He had a run on the Avengers with Roger Stern, which we'll be getting to in this series eventually. But I didn't care for it that much. His Conan stuff I enjoyed. Didn't love it, but I enjoyed it. But looking back on it now, I absolutely love it. But here's Gorr. That's the golden gorilla right there that the High Evolutionary evolved from a regular old primate on Counter-Earth. He evolved him into a walking, talking gorilla and sent him to Earth in a spaceship to get the Fantastic Four. He brought them to Counter-Earth. Counter-Earth's on the other side of our sun, so we don't know that it's there from our planet, our regular Earth planet. We don't know that Counter-Earth is there. It's basically a copy of Earth that created by the High Evolutionary. But Galactus showed up. Last issue, the Thing had a big fight with what the heck is his name? The Destroyer. The Destroyer is now, at this point in time in Marvel Comics history, the Destroyer is Galactus's herald, and he went in search of a suitable planet for Galactus to devour, and he discovered Counter-Earth. So the last issue, we saw the team get split up and go to a couple potential replacement planets for Counter-Earth that were nearby in the solar system or in the galaxy. There were 3 potential planets, one of which had no life, 2 others had life. If it has no life on it, then Galactus won't want it. So the team split up. Reed and the Thing went to one planet, and the Human Torch and Gorr went to the other planet with life on it. And nobody went to the third planet. Sue stayed with the High Evolutionary. It was kind of the team's escape route. If anything happened to them on the planet, then Sue would be able to save them. And she panics, turns invisible. The High Evolutionary won't send her down to help the team because both teams got themselves into trouble on their respective planets. She turns invisible, throws the lever to teleport herself down to one of the planets, and she teleported herself down to the lifeless one instead. She didn't show up on either of the planets where the rest of the teams were. She ended up on the dead planet with no oxygen. She's got her invisible force field, and what little bit of air she has inside of that force field is all the air she has, and she's stranded. So she's dead. I thought this was pretty neat. Retire before 50. Own a DuraClean business, a franchise. This guy spent some money when he was 40, worked a few years, sold the franchise, and retired at 50. Those were the good old days. So here we pick up Reed and Ben. They're trapped on this mecha planet with this robot character who they met, about 80 issues ago, as you can see right here in this, as seen way back in ish 93. That's the first time they met this character. But he's in charge of this planet of robots. It's kind of a, I guess the planet was kind of like Earth, and it was inhabited by humans, and humans developed robots, and slowly robots and artificial life took over the planet, basically. So everything became roboticized, and the humans died off, and it was nothing left but robots. So now this character is going to turn Reed and Ben into robots. He's going to take them into this tower. What the heck was the name of it? Tower of Life. And inside there is the technology to turn them from humans into robots. But we've got an ace up our sleeve because Ben Grimm is no longer the Thing. He's wearing a Thing suit, and he's able to shimmy out of that suit and escape and set him and Reed free. And here we have a little bit more info on, not only has Ben Grimm lost his powers, he's no longer the Thing, but Reed has been losing his powers slowly over the last few issues. We find out here that his right arm no longer stretches. He can only stretch his left arm now, as you can see there. So they fight the robots. They don't want to hurt them because they're friends with this guy, basically. But he won't let them escape because he's afraid that they're going to leave the planet and tell Galactus to come eat their planet, and he doesn't want that, of course. And they don't want to cause any kind of trouble like that, so they aren't hurting anybody, trying to play it safe. They end up in a fight with him. Reed, he goes into the Tower of Life. Very, you can see John Buscema really takes the Fantastic Four assignment seriously, because this looks like Kirby what do you call it? Kirby equipment. This just looks like something Jack Kirby would have drawn in the early days of Fantastic Four, whenever he's drawing Reed Richards gizmos or science fiction spaceships or control panels. But they find the shut-off switch, and that, by throwing that switch, shuts off all the robots. All the robots are now inanimate, and Ben and Reed feel bad. They turn them back on. Oh, this letter in the letters page is hilarious. This person really does not like the Invisible Girl. In the letter, he talks about everybody, and when he gets to the Invisible Girl, he goes on for a long time. Sue Richards, please get rid of her. She is the dullest heroine there ever was. Invisible Girl suits her perfectly, because that's exactly what she is, an invisible moral support to the FF's chauvinistic males. Please send Sue away for a while. She is only good for a hostage as she is. She needs to turn in her leotards and stop hiding behind her force field, which can't even hold an overrated, weight-shoving, so-called power man. talking about a couple issues ago when Power Man stepped in for a few issues to replace Ben Grimm when he lost his powers. It was pretty funny. Anyway, the letters pages back then were a blast. And now Ben and Reed, they have settled their differences with the mechas on the Mecha planet. They're not gonna turn them into Galactus. Galactus won't know about their world, and now they're waiting to be transported back to the High Evolutionaries' ship, and it doesn't happen. So they're like, what the heck? So we flash to Gore and the Human Torch, who are on a medieval planet, and they've been captured. The last issue, they were saving a damsel in distress from a dragon. They got captured. They've got Johnny in a vat of water. He's chained in a vat of water, so he can't turn into the Human Torch. I feel like he probably, in another issue, if that were the trap, he would just like superheat the water and evaporate it and turn into the Human Torch anyway, but that's just me. Now, the king or whatever he is steps into the dungeon, and Gore's mouthing off to him. And he said, oh, icy, look at that. I'm surprised this coupon is still in there. Somebody didn't go to the 7-Eleven and get an icy. Gore's mouthing off to the king. So the king says, okay, we'll put you in a suit of armor and you can joust our champion. And if you win, you guys can go free. And if you lose, we'll kill you. So they wheel out Johnny in his vat of water to watch. Gore gets in his armor and jumps on a horse, and he's going to joust with this Black Knight type character. And he ends up being a pro jouster. He gets hit, flips over, lands on his horse, takes out the knight, and says, hey, I won. The king says, oh, no, you didn't. We got a dragon. The dragon, though, escapes. And then the king panics because the dragon's coming for him, and he panics and tells his warriors to blast that thing, and all of a sudden they whip out laser guns. So this is a strange twist, and we find out all along they were Skrulls playing as medieval people on this planet. So I guess what we find out here is that the dragons were the dominant species on the planet, but the Skrulls came and hunted them all to extinction. This was the very last one, and they just killed it. So there's no life left on this world. We find out the damsel in distress was a robot, and the Skrulls beat feet out of there. They had a rocket hidden in the castle, and they take off, leaving Gore and Johnny stranded on the planet, and they're supposed to be picked up just like Reed and Ben were, and nothing happens, so they're stranded there. So we switch to Counter Earth. Again, it's just like a mirror image of our Earth. And they're all looking up, and there's Galactus standing on top of a skyscraper. The Air Force can't stop him. So he's about to devour their planet, but here comes the High Evolutionary, who has grown himself to Galactus size. So next issue is going to be a big fight between the High Evolutionary and Galactus. That's our cliffhanger. Didn't everybody want these Revolutionary War soldiers back in the day? I know I did. Oh, here's I love these Jack Davis illustrated ads for these ones for Spalding baseball gloves. He does such a good job. Jack Davis. We need more Jack Davis today. Let's see. What did Stan talk about in his soapbox this time? Marv Wolfman, who's been the editor-in-chief for a while, he's stepping down to just write. And the next month's soapbox will announce the new editor-in-chief. So they had Roy Thomas as editor-in-chief for a little bit. He stepped down to do more writing. Marv Wolfman stepped in for a year to fill his shoes. Didn't last only a year or so. Now he's leaving to do more writing, and somebody else is going to step in. Who do you think it's going to be? I think I know who it's going to be, but we'll have to wait until I get to the October 1976 issues to read the Stan soapbox to find out. Here's the bicentennial issue, Marvel Treasury edition that they put out for the bicentennial that year in 1976. I'd like to have a copy of that. I do not have it, and I would like to have it. What else was cool in here? I don't remember. Oh, they announced a new title. They want to, Roy Thomas came up with an idea for a comic called What If? So they're talking about, they're going to have a brand new title soon called What If? And they're kind of vague about it. They're teasing about it. So that's kind of neat. I think What If came out a year later in 77, maybe? Can't remember now. But it wasn't too long after this that it came out. That's kind of neat that they teased that right there. But anyway, that's Fantastic Four 174, the September 1976 issue. If you guys out there have any cool trivia or backstory on it, please comment with it down below. Otherwise, like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.